This program features live coverage of an African safari and may include animal kills and carcasses. Viewer discretion is advised.
Good morning, everyone. It's such a beautiful morning out here in the Masai Mara. We did receive good rains and it has been quite eventful. And hello, my name is Imara, and on camera we have James. Thank you for tuning in for the morning drive. And honestly, guys, when I say this with all the excitement I have, is because we had some exciting sightings from our lions here. Don't worry, I know you're thinking she's sitting down, Imara, she's not doing anything exciting. But guess what? We got to see Lola carrying one of her cubs this morning, and would like to show you guys the highlight and experience what we experienced literally today morning. Let's take a look. How adorable was that? Oh, because it did rain yesterday evening, and during the night it rained, and I was like, I know the cubs will want to be outside, especially to warm up a bit with the sun. And then we get to see Lola carrying the cub just like across the grass. I don't know where she was going. She was just like kind of moving up and down, but it was really, really great to see that. And guys, I am not alone. We have Ian and Dan on the drive, and we're hoping for Mabula to join soon. So do not worry. We will be very much on the move, looking around, but just being grateful for our lions so far this morning. Oh, that was very amazing. I have never seen a lioness carry a cub in the mouth. The other day we did see Lola attempting to take one of the cubs in her mouth when they were walking away, kind of being very curious, adventurous cubbies. And she came and tried to pick up the cub, but she didn't, so I was hoping for that moment. So today we got to see it, and we are live and interactive, everyone. Just a nice reminder, you can ask us questions, comment, and would love to hear your thoughts, so please do engage with us. We always love to hear from you. And our lionesses have just kind of calmed down after walking around. I know they are hungry. This is not Lola, because I saw for other females actually. So it is nice to see the Marsh girls around. And as we continue doing our investigations here with our lions, we're going to send you to Ian to say good morning and see what his plans are for today.
Well, good morning everyone, and welcome to the Sabi Sands. My name is Ian, and behind the camera is Impo. And yeah, it's a beautiful morning. It's a little bit overcast, but that means it's a bit warmer. So no gloves, no beanie, which is fantastic. And I just got off the vehicle here just to see if I could pick up on any tracks. The good news on the radio was that there was a pride of lions and cubs north of us, and so we're quite excited. We don't want to be outdone by Imara and her lioness and cubs, so it would be amazing if we could connect with that pride. We also heard some elephants that seemed a little bit agitated, and we thought, well, maybe we can just pick up on them, but I'm not sure exactly where they are. We're hoping they can call again, we can get a bit more of a location on them. But while we do that, we're going to go and check in Sandringham, check in with Dan. Apparently he's also looking for lions.
Good morning everybody, and it is a chilly morning here in Sandringham. Ian, you must be a little bit crazy to not have any gloves on or a beanie on, but Welcome to Sandring, everybody. My name is Daniel Fisher, and on camera this morning we've got Sean. It's a little bit overcast, and that normally means it's a bit warmer, but I'm afraid it's not the case this morning. It's very chilly, which is a good reminder. It's a lovely morning in the winter Lowveld, and our plans this morning are we've entered the reserve. We're going to try and follow up on the Black Dam Pride is our main priority plan. But for now, I'm going to head towards the river and see if we can find anything else a little bit interesting before we find tracks. We've got to have that first puzzle piece before we can carry on. So we're not far from the river, kind of just checking in this open area, named it Little Serengeti. I think every reserve, or most reserves, have an area called Little Serengeti. Although we are miles away from East Africa, it's the open area that makes it like this. And it sounds like Imara's had an unbelievable sighting already this morning, lioness carrying cubs. Let's go back and check in with her and see how things are operating that side.
It is quite chilly. I just have my cape on, cap. I'm gonna stick with hat. And no gloves, but I will add gloves as we drive. And look at this beautiful frame. So there's a cubby who's being carried by Lola. And looks like the introduction, at least to the females, has happened. And Kaleo is around. I saw her two boys. They're just running around, don't worry. They're being very playful, having a bit of the zoomies. And it's good for them, especially on when it had like a very cool morning. Usually in the daytime, to have like this in the morning, to warm up, to run around, sit on the mounts, take in the sun, usually is something on the agenda for lions after a cool, cold evening. But look at them, looking very healthy, really good. I'm just so much enjoying seeing them all together. And this reminds me of the moment when Kaleo also introduced her two sons to the boys, but now it's just a female. So the cubby has been introduced to these females. And we'll stick around to see if the cub will show its face again. And we're going to be very patient. In the meantime, we have Seppo is around. Let's go say good morning to him and see what he has on the screen for you guys.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome. Such a beautiful morning. In Mabula, we have caps and no gloves as well. It is not that cold this morning. Clear skies. And my name is Tsepo, and I am not alone. I am with Luyanda, and we came across something a little bit special. We came across an eagle-spotted owl right there. Look at that. This is beautiful start of the morning, because these guys are actually nocturnal animals, and we are quite very lucky to actually have them during daytime like that. Fortunately, didn't want to stay a little bit longer. But this morning we have exciting day. Hopefully you are feeling excited as well. Luyanda and myself are going to try to look for our lions, and hopefully we can actually get some lion cubs, and we are able to actually share that with you. But we will start moving, and we're going to try to see if we are able to actually find the lions. And yes, we have been having fantastic times. Yesterday we had beautiful sightings. So hope
Oh, at least we got to see a bird of the day. Nice. They're always very impatient. Just like our cub, who is not really impatient, but just on the move a lot, going behind mom. I'm hoping to see the others, but Look at our other lioness right there, because I do know in the marsh you have, of course, Keto, you have Lola, of course, Kaleo, Naserian. So I am just curious about if all of them are here. But I did hear news before we even got to the site, because at least there's a whole chain of connection and network that they did try to hunt a buffalo. So they are hungry. Pam, yes, but it is quite normal, honestly. Sometimes you'll see if she feels like one area, she's like, okay, I think we should just move them to a different location. It is very not, let's say, not uncommon. Sorry, it's not uncommon for lions to be moving dens and moving the cubs around. And I think it's also good for the cubs to now start moving around, because at the time of 8 weeks, which is about 2 months, they even get introduced to the rest of the pride. So I think right now is the time. Even Lola said, guys, it's time to step out of your comfort zone, look at around, get to know your other relatives. So it is not really uncommon. Usually when they're really tiny and vulnerable, they're much hidden. And you can see right there we have our other 2 lionesses. Everyone has just been facing away from us, but with intention, because as I mentioned before we got here, we did hear that they tried to take a buffalo. Unsuccessful, because I think I know that buffalo. There's always an old buffalo around the area, an old general, very, very big old male, and he's not easy to take. He's been around this area and he's always been alone, but no lion has ever succeeded in actually cornering him and taking him down. And for the females, they have to be very careful. Such a big buffalo can actually cause a lot of injuries to them. And with cubs around and young ones, I know the females want to be in tip-top shape, so they're able to hunt and provide for the young ones. And right now you can see they're all focused looking at that area, and I'm highly suspecting most likely warthogs, because warthogs do come out around this time of the day in the morning. Once the sun is out, it feels a bit warmer. The warthogs say, it is time to start the day and exit the burrow. But also now it is time for the lions to maybe try and hunt. Tim, yes, even James is showing you. We're trying to do our best, because it's they're both on different sides of our vehicle. There they are. Looks like Kaleo's 2 boys. They've been having a lot of the playful zoomies running around, so it's been hard to just pinpoint them. But it's good to see that they're bonding. Strengthening the male bond between brothers is very important, especially once they get much older. You want to be able to communicate with your brother, have a good bond with one another. And it's also good for them to get introduced to Lola's young ones. Our lioness who's standing up, she is very alert looking around. And look at Lola, she's the one in the middle. She was also telling the boy, don't do that, be gentle with the young ones. Why they take about 8 weeks and a bit more to get introduced is because when they're too young, when you have now older siblings like Kaleo's 2 boys, they can be very aggressive when it comes to playing. And sometimes maybe one smack or one hit, it can be very fatal to young cubs who are not really, they're not big enough. They're very vulnerable. So mom always waits when they're big enough, at least, to now be around the older siblings. Even look at her reaction. Look at Lola's face. She's telling them, don't play too rough with the small ones. Even the boys are very curious. They're like, but he's our new sibling. Look at Lola. Yeah, she's telling them, don't do that. Stephanie, they are getting really big. Can you imagine how they look like in 1 year's time? Such beautiful boys, very healthy. And we're yet to know even Lola's cubs. Are they boys? Are they girls? I'm hoping for more girls, because when you have a lot of males, it tends to have a lot of conflict sometimes in areas. And also to be nice for the females to now again have more cubs, kind of increase the population. Because the Marsh Pride used to boast a lot of lions back in 2005. We're talking about 19 plus lions in a pride. And right now it's a few of them. It's not bad. There's always hope. That's why I'm hoping for more females to be born into their group, let's say. This mount has brought us a lot of luck. This is where we got to spot Lola and the cubs a few days ago, early morning, and she was just sitting enjoying the sun with the cubs. But guys, I am hoping that they'll try to hunt again, because they did mention that they did try a buffalo kill before we got here. Unsuccessful, obviously, because look at them, they're not really munching anything. But this area is known for warthogs too. Warthog is a good treat, not really big enough, but still good enough for them. So who knows? Keep your fingers crossed, your toes crossed. If you can cross your teeth, do the same. And we'll see what their plan will be. And as our lions enjoy their beautiful sunrise, we're going to send you over to Daniel, who is also enjoying the sunrise in South Africa. Let's go take a look.
Good luck with your search there, Imara. It's already been a good morning. Let's keep up the energy. And we've just taken a moment to stop and marvel once again at the beautiful sun. And if you look carefully, you can see that great big ball kind of rising just above the first set of clouds. It's our first glimpse of the sun. We're waiting for it to warm up. Seems like there's a little bit of a gap in the clouds while it's rising, that we're going to get a good view of it. It's going to take some time before we warm up. I was chatting about it earlier, but normally when there are clouds around like there are this morning, it's much warmer in the morning. It often takes a lot longer for it to warm up. But the clouds kind of like act as a protection barrier, and it prevents the heat that the earth has absorbed during the day from escaping. And often your mornings are a bit warmer, kind of creating like a little bit of an inversion layer and keeping the warm air in. But it then often prevents the sun and its warmth from getting into us. Connie, do I think the sunrises are prettier when there's a full moon? The clouds are still too visible to see the full moon. I mean, the moon was out the whole night last night, and it actually probably would just be on the horizon now. I'm busy turning around trying to see if I can see it, but no, I can't. There's too many clouds. It's an interesting question. I think each sunrise is pretty. Whether it's prettier with the full moon, I'm not 100% sure. I don't think it has too much of an impact on the sunrise. But when there are clouds like they are, it can be very pretty. Just the colors change so quickly, and you can see movement of the clouds, and the colors are just crazy. And I mean, as that sun goes higher and higher in the sky, it's going to become, the colors are going to become more and more consistent. You're going to start seeing more of the white in the clouds and more of the blue in the sky, and hopefully some animals that are moving around. And while we're sitting here, we're just listening. All the birds are waking up. I haven't heard any nocturnal animals kind of doing their morning routines and waiting to go to bed. But it's a really good time to do so. We're just on the banks of the river as well. It's quite a bit cooler down there as well, so I'm a bit worried about driving on it. But let's go and do it. Let's go and pop down to the river and see if there's anything exciting happening there this morning. And while we do that, let's go and have a look at hopefully some playful lions.
Ooh, must have been really beautiful. And being next to a body of water, it is usually much cooler. She's very, like, just makes sense, you know, because the water may be held in a bit of more heat. I was not the best in geography class, but I can imagine it's usually much cooler by the body of water, and also in forests. And out here in the savannah, the green grasslands, at least a little bit of green and golden, it is warming up a little bit, still chilly, but our lions are still here on the mount. Lola did tell one of the boys, stop it, you're playing too rough with the young cub, and they are still very focused on that warthog. There's a warthog who is just enjoying eating. Don't worry, he's kind of far away, but these lions have really good eyesight. They can see up to 5 kilometers away. That would be really cool to have inbuilt or have sunglasses or glasses that you put on. Well, actually, that's binoculars. What am I saying? You can just use your binos. So our lions have inbuilt binoculars in their eyes in the sense of they can see very far. And that warthog, for them, they just keep on watching. Lily, ooh, thank you for your question. I would like to tell you a small story. When you look at the T-boys, you have Kiongozi. Kiongozi is the last born. He's the, let's say, the youngest one of them all. And the other boys, they were much older. So they left the pride because boys they'll have to leave the pride. They get a bit too tension with the older males and they'll have to be shooed off. And by the time they left Kiongozi all by himself back at let's say with the females. But that's when his mom, it's Sama? Actually, I think it's Sama is his mom. Yes, she did kind of walk him around to find the other boys because she knew this boy needs to be with the other males. So there's a whole story about them. It's a very beautiful one. So even with these young cubs, like there's a bit of obviously like months of difference, age gap, but if the other ones are males, sometimes lions can wait for them to catch up to the other age, which is also what happened to the R5. When you look at Olonkera, he's the oldest brother, but he wasn't kicked out. He was supposed to be kicked out, and he was the oldest one, but they waited for the other brothers to get a bit older, and they were all shooed out at the same time. So it all does depend if maybe the big males of the pride will allow the boys to stick around for a little bit longer so they can all live together, or sometimes they just get shooed out and they gotta go maybe find each other later on, or even sometimes if it's only one boy, he might have to be alone or maybe go try form a bond again with the older sibling. So it does vary, but it can happen where the young cubs can catch up and stay with Lola's older boys. So it's always very interesting with lions. They, again, their own personalities, they have their own way of behaving. So until that day comes, you can't really know. But I do hope that if there are some boys, they will stick around with the older siblings, let's say cousins, which is always beneficial. I am curious about this watch. I'm going to look through my binoculars, my lion eyes, as I'm going to call them from now on. It's a good size, but it's not big enough for them. I don't know. You might try something though. Lions are very good at taking opportunities, and lionesses all together like this, it's a pretty strong team. It's like a football team, actually. If you want to say football or soccer, I'm talking about the one for kicking with the leg, not the other type of football. But let's see how they will go about their morning.
Can you hear that sound? The way it grows, the way it calls you to come alive. Can you feel the rhythm? The way it beats with the land? Do you feel alive again? Or maybe you never left. You don't just visit the wild, you return to it.
Look at that particular frog.
Starting to become that independent leopard now. And these 10 cubs belong to 4 different females.
They sometimes come and say hi.
Hi there, my name is Kerry Dupree, wildlife presenter and guide. What I love the most about guiding is being able to share my love for wildlife and nature with my guests. Very exciting to find those cheetah boys on a kill. Being passionate about your job makes the world of a difference because your guide definitely sets the tone of every adventure.
Talking about the big man TP, we're going to go and check a highlight of him. Sounds like it was a while back when he did an awesome walk by, I beg your pardon.
None other than a tortoise pan. Yay! A big boy, this guy, and pretty much one of the dominant boys of this area. But look at this guy and the walk, the beast. Yeah, he's coming a lot here into the east here now. I mean, since Mulwati has disappeared, he's really kind of coming more and more into this side here. And you never know with Kuchava, that might go into heat again very shortly. He might even end up a little bit further east than normal. But what a beaut. What a brute.
So hopefully you enjoyed that clip. I must say, like, I'm also getting used to, you know, I don't have a door here on my right, and old TP at one stage he was walking towards us in the dark, and you realize, wow, maybe I'm a little bit exposed here. But like I said, just spending time and presence with that animal. He's got such a character, you know. He's got such a presence, and it's a calm one, and it's just like amazing to spend time with him. So yeah, I've been quite envious of all the guides spending time with TP, and I was lucky enough to experience it. So yeah, very happy about that, and just reveling in it. But speaking about walk-bys, let's go and check in with Imara and see how she handles them.
Ooh, walk-bys. I love them so much. We had one recent with Ellie's when we were at the Marsh area, and it's always quite amazing because you do feel quite small but still so grateful, and it's always quite an amazing feeling, especially when you get to be there in person. And guys, look at that. I'll be talking about the warthog. The warthog has finally showed up on our frame. Can you see the left side of your screen, something moving? The lionesses are just looking at that warthog like breakfast. That's breakfast, guys. And strategy, that's why I'm waiting a little bit with them. With lions, they like to take their sweet time, but it's the best because they have to think of what is the best tactic for them to go with. Are they going to go in a different direction? What way are the warthogs walking in? Have they recognized us? And I don't think the warthogs have seen them. They're still walking around like, you know, it's just a normal casual Monday out here, but they are getting much closer to our lionesses and their young ones, of course. But they definitely would love to eat something. I know that for sure. And that warthog seems to be with a young one, I think, if I'm not seeing two, unless that's a bird following the warthog. Oh, this is some birds, yeah. Oh, there's a warthog, yes. Look at that, guys. Some Hadada ibis. Is that Hadada ibis? I haven't seen them in a while. And our warthog, big enough for them, at least to fill their tummies this morning. Look at that frame. Oh, that's a nice one, James. So the lionesses will be looking at each other because remember they're sitting on two different termite mounds. And they will be looking at each other in the sense of communicating. They're communicating with each other like who is going to go in different direction. Which way are we going to go for it? Oh, I love such moments. Because right now you're actually joining the whole process with them. You're joining the whole thing of seeing how they're gonna go about it. And as we patiently wait to see what their move will be, we're talking about walk-bys actually. And I know in person it's quite different, but even on the screen, I'm sure you'll feel something quite special. Let's take a look at a walk-by I had recently with a beautiful elephant. Guys, the marsh area keeps on giving. Look at this alley. It's amazing. They always come so close. The sun's really bright, but elephant is even brighter. Beautiful girl. She's so patient. We just parked here. They don't mind. Hi, sweetheart. Look at that. Following in mom's footsteps. Mom has shown that we are very calm, and the baby is calm too. Hi, sweetheart. And that's how they usually learn. So even when you see such human interactions, like again, you being in a stable place, you're staying still, mom will pass by, shows the baby that you're all okay and I don't mind the vehicle, you're okay with it, and they just pass by. How great was that? Ooh, I missed that so much. Next time we're gonna go to the marsh and hopefully we'll get another walk by. She's made up her mind, I think. What is your decision? So you see, guys, the walk bys, it just happens naturally. I don't know what's been happening. I think we're getting some really good luck. There's our lioness just gonna be passing us. I am curious who this is. And looks like, oh, there she goes. Ah. Yeah, she did hear about our walk by. She was like, oh, you guys want to see our walk by? Compare me to the elephant? Well, darling, you are amazing. Very beautiful. Thank you for that. Maybe she's going to go and whisper her plan to the other lionesses. Say, hey, are we going to go for the warthog or what? Look at the two boys sitting there. Khalil's sons are actually so gorgeous. Very handsome. Let's see. Is she going? Yeah, I think she's going to join them on the mound. Let's see her go up to them. And lions, usually when you see them going together, like coming together, so even when I'm doing photography, I know that when you see the lionesses approaching each other, they will most likely, it's not always, 75% chance of greeting each other by putting their heads together. So let's see if they will interact with each other. Pam, with a baby warthog, they could. Any food that will help and feed them, they will. It's not going to be big enough. And for the small boys, I think they're still learning also. So watching all the older females is quite important. And 75% chance was 100% chance. She's saying hi to the other females. It's a very normal thing with lions. So I can tell you, approaching each other, we're going to say hi. Yawning, I'm going to get up. And looking around in one direction without being distracted, I've seen something. So this is how we get to know lions and what they're thinking through their actions and behaviors. And the more you stick out with them, you're kind of able to predict a bit of their movements. Look at this, all these sisters together. And the two boys there in the background like, what's going on? The boys not even looking at the warthogs. They're letting mom take care of all the hard work for them. You boys should be looking at the warthog too. You're supposed to be learning. You're supposed to be training your eyes to spot. But it's so nice seeing them all together like this. It has been quite a while. Even for me, actually, that last time I saw them sitting like this on a mound was last year. So nice to see a nice update. Oh, guys, I think we're going to have a really wonderful morning because I hear the Sebo also has some lions and some young ones. Hey, let's go see the cutie pies.
Good morning and welcome to Mabula. It seems like it is a lion morning this morning. You're going to notice with us here in Mabula, we were looking for lions as well, and we got lucky with some lions and some cubs with us. Came to a little bit of a pond trying to have some water to start off the day. There we go. What a beautiful way to actually start the morning. The young ones are having a drink. They were a little bit energetic, running a little bit off the road where the big lionesses were actually moving, getting into the long grass, chasing each other. So they really do need that to actually hydrate themselves a little bit. Oh, isn't this just beautiful? Early morning, start of the morning, and one thing you can actually start with is lions. Looked thirsty there, young one. And there's the big one waiting, like, are you guys coming? Scouting the area. They looked a little bit lean, the adult. Oh yes, Stephanie, it's the day of cups this morning. Hopefully you are having a lovely morning as we are. It's a beautiful morning to start. And what more can we ask for? I think it's going to be a lovely day. Seeing them active like that, moving around. The young one looked quite thirsty. It's been there for quite some time. Oh, mommy looked thirsty as well. Don't sleep and fall into the mud, young one. Ah, there comes the second one. So we have 2 lionesses and 3 young ones. Oh yes, Pinky, they have to. And the beautiful thing here is the cubs have been with the males. They did have a sighting of them and the males few days ago, of which was just quite beautiful to actually see. Oh, I don't know if you can actually hear the young ones trying to growl a little bit.
Can you reposition?
But I'm going to try to get a little bit closer, but not to a point where we actually do disturb them. They're starting to actually move. So you can actually hear that little bit of a growling.
Wow, I'm just stopped here off the vehicle. I can hear a lion roaring. Sounds quite far away though, but that's really exciting. We've got some Egyptian geese that sort of took off from behind us. But what we wanted to show you was we came down here to there's a waterhole in front of Jackie's camp. It's one of the camps that if you do come with Wild Earth Travel, you can get to stay here. And we came across this elephant. Oh my gosh, it's quite heavy.
Listening, eh?
Yeah, I can still hear the lions calling, but they sound far away, so we'll be finished with this segment before they get here. Maybe they're coming to drink. But coming down to the waterhole, we've been down here before, and I didn't notice this this jawbone. And then yesterday they called in a bunch of elephants, a herd of elephants here at the water. And what elephants will do is they'll move the bones of old elephant bones, which I find quite interesting. But it's also nice just to see the tooth. And we talked yesterday about the teeth and how they got to protect their teeth from grinding. They only get 6 sets of teeth, and they come down a conveyor belt here. And I just thought this would be quite a cool thing to talk about. Not only the teeth, but also the fact that the Eddies, they move their bones around. And sometimes I've seen this in Chobe, I've seen this in the Klaseri, where they almost like pay tribute to their fallen brothers. And so it's very smart animals, the elephants, and maybe we can take a leaf out of their book. But from here, the Ellies, we can go back to Imara and check in what she's up to.
Careful with the lions. I know you're saying the elephant carcass, but lions could be close by. Just like our lions here, close to us also. They're all enjoying the sun. You can see the cub right there on mom's back. Lola's coat is very, very dark, so she's much easier to actually identify. Don't know what the cub is doing. It's just licking mom. It's bonding with mom, which is kind of cute actually. The other 2 boys are just there on the left side sleeping. With such sun, they do get very cozy. But why I've stuck here a little bit longer is to also just get an update with their plans. Again, with the whole attempt on the buffalo kill, which didn't happen. They were still looking at the warthog. They haven't really kept their eyes off the warthog. And our cub is just being playful because he doesn't know what's going on. The cub doesn't know what a warthog is. He just knows mom's milk. Not David's mama's milk, but Lola's milk. And we are just wondering what the plan could be. So I always like just giving them a little bit more time to get an idea, but it is just great to see them all together. And who knows, maybe they will try something or maybe they won't. We will see how it happens. Look at them, just enjoying that sun. Nadine is our director, and she said, yeah, Lola's milk is the real mama's drink. It is true. It is. David, I'm sorry, yours does not compare. The cubs, the cubs know which one is the real mama's drink. But yeah, they're really just looking at that warthog. And the warthog hasn't seen them. It's behind some bushes, because again, it's on the other side of the lager. And it's just eating grass in a bit of a zigzag motion. Christy, thank you for your question. Well, mom is not using really her teeth. You know, they're very like long canines. She's just grasping with the jaws. So let's say the muscle, it's like you trying to put an egg in your mouth and not crushing it. So you can just try to imagine that. You're not putting too much pressure. You're not biting down on them. And of course, maybe the baby will feel uncomfortable here and there. It's like, oh, mom is carrying me by the neck. But it's the best way for mom to like safely move the cubs. And even some dog breeds we're known for, I don't know, is it a Labrador or a Golden Retriever? They're very good at also putting eggs in their mouth without crushing it. So I always like giving that expression or an example. Oh, very good yawn. Remember, guys, what I said? Yawn means movement. 1 yawn is okay. When you see 4 yawns in about like 5 minutes or so, then it does give you a good idea that they will be getting up. But just 1 yawn, it could be just 1 yawn. Look at that little cub, my goodness. Look how tiny. I'm sure it's so happy right now because it's getting to see mom's relatives, the sisters, cousins. Getting to see, oh my gosh, this is a whole family. It's not just mom and my siblings, it's all of us. I'm sure for the lion, the cub even right now is like, oh, we're all together. I'm highly suspecting the other two are in the bush sleeping. And then one of them is just being a bit cheeky. So guys, yeah, just highly suspecting that might be in the bush somewhere sleeping. Lola is a really good mom. And sometimes you always have the cheeky one, the one who just wants to be with mom. All the personalities start showing at a very young age. Even with Kaleo and her young ones, there's always one who would sit away from the rest. He would always sit a bit further out, and one of the boys would like to sit on mom's back. Always like to sit on Kaleo's back, I remember that. And use mom as a chair. So you'll see, again, sometimes you have their personalities showing where they're like, no, I don't want to be around any other lions. I just want to be with mom, or I just want to be by myself. So I think this one could be maybe mama's boy, or if it's a girl, mama's girl. But it's so great to see that they're all well and healthy. And as we continue the cat action, we're going to send you over to Dan. Let's see more cats.
Okay, well, welcome back, and couldn't be left out of the lion party this morning, so we're putting some pressure on Ian here, and we have very luckily managed to find some of these Black Dam Pride members, and they are busy finishing off what looks like a giraffe carcass. This is not far from where we were yesterday. I'm going to move, there's another vehicle coming in here, so I'm just going to move forward a smidge here, if that's alright. Let me just quickly put it up to here. Make some space so that we can all... Shawnee, can you still see there, hey? So, yeah, very exciting. Cool, we haven't had any signs on any tracks, and I've got to be honest, this wasn't much me. This was the Sabi Sandringham vehicles who have found them, and they've already done a fair amount to this carcass. And I'm trying to count the lions around. I see one in the grass, two feeding, another ear below there, 4. There's another one in front of us here, busy munching on a big bone. I wonder, have a look at this guy here. Sean's going to show you, go across here. Look at the size of the bones that this little one is busy feeding on. And quite interestingly is we are very close to where we were yesterday, where the lions were hunting the buffalo. And I wonder if those younger ones weren't just kind of like chasing the buffalo, and in a bit of the chaos, this giraffe got in the way. Willow, is there a time where it's better for them to hunt something big like a giraffe? The specific timing, there's never really a timing. It's all about the opportunity. The area also often makes it easier or more difficult to hunt a giraffe. It's pretty dense here. We're right next to a riverbed, and these lions will thrive on chaos when it comes to hunting a giraffe. While the giraffe is on its feet, it's a very difficult prey species to take down, but once they get the giraffe off of its feet and fallen down, it becomes very vulnerable. So the terrain can play a lot with that, and the lions will often try and chase a giraffe, like maybe down a steep bank into a riverbed perhaps, or across. I can't imagine what would have tripped it up here. Maybe just a long dense bush and a undercover tree. And then the lions will jump on it, and once the giraffe is off its feet, it becomes almost instant food. You can see that hoof at the back. Look at the size of these bones that this little one is busy trying to tackle. There's not much meat left at all. So I would imagine there are more lions than what I think around here. But a good breakfast showing here, and these smaller ones who are feeding at the moment, there's not much carcass, not much food left, and they'll be trying to finish up as much. This big bone as well is going to pretty much stay there like it is. It's too big for this little one to get in. It might even be too big for a few hyenas to break into and get into the marrow and the really nutritious parts inside that bone. But there's still quite a bit of cartilage around the joints there, which that lion will be trying to get to, and use its tongue to try and lick as much of the meat directly off the bone. You'll see that tongue especially designed with, almost looks like small tiny little blades that when it licking up on the bone like that will pick up all little bits of meat and it'll strip that bone clear. But yeah, what an awesome find here at Sandringham. Okay, well, we're going to continue to sit here and watch these lions, see if we can count how many are here. And on this note, with a bit of momentum, let's send you over to Mabula. It looks like the Lion Thursday is continuing.
Oh, it is indeed a very beautiful morning for lions. From feeding on a giraffe to coming to Mabula and actually seeing them with the young ones. Just a very magical moment if you actually look. So if you actually look at the young ones, she was busy nourishing the young ones with some milk. It's quite important for them, especially in their first. Oh, what a yawn there. Hello, young one. Oh, that is quite fantastic to actually see. So you'll see, if you look at that young one, competition actually starts at a little bit young age. You'll see at this young age, especially when they are feeding, these two just climbing on one another and trying to actually get the best position to actually feed. And it's quite important because at about 6 to 8 weeks, the first weeks, the milk will be quite very important. And just after then, they will start trying to actually get meat from the kills that the females will actually make. There we go. There we go. Wants to take the spot of the first one there. This is what we just discussed. The competition starts at the young age. Look at that. I definitely agree with you, Stan, right there. This is one of the cutest moments. Look at those eyes. Oh, this is super cute, Stan. It's just amazing. It's one of those moments that you look and you just admire nature so much, because that little cub that you're looking at, it's going to become one of the most big predators that we actually have. But just look at that. At this point, they rely totally on the mom. I think she or he, because not quite sure with the genders yet, but looks like I'm gonna take a little bit of a nap here. I'm not gonna actually sacrifice my space. And now with the mother also moving with young ones like this, it is quite important for her to try to actually balance, because nourishing the 3 young ones like that actually helps the young one.
Okay, sorry about that at Mabula, but we are still sitting here with the Black Dam Pride. We're busy really finishing off the last little bits of this giraffe carcass. And this little one is really trying to get the most out of those bones, big bones. And luckily for him, he's on his own. Look at the size of them compared to, he's really at the end there where the joint will have a bit of cartilage. It might be a little bit softer. You can see he's also kind of very wet at the back. Looks like he's either been rolling around in the moisture. There might be a bit of dew on the grass that he's been collecting. But I'm sure he's enjoying the peace and quiet, as I'm sure when this giraffe was killed, and I don't think it was this morning, very likely yesterday at some point, just because of it's finished, or 98% finished. And when there is a big carcass like this in and amongst a large pride, the competition can be fierce. And a smaller, younger lion like this, you better be very careful not to get into the way of even its fellow pride members. If it gets in the way, it might catch an unwanted and unfriendly smack to the face from a very sharp, big paw and sharp claws and sharp teeth. And the bigger you are and the stronger you are, it determines like the amount of food and the quality of food that you get. A giraffe is a big meal, so there'll be more than enough to be shared. But they have no idea when anybody's going to compete and overcompete them. Mindy, if cubs are raised with other older lions from the same pride, does it improve their chances of survival? Not necessarily. I mean, their survival, these guys have just got up. Their survival is really determined by their mothers and their hunting capabilities, and the fathers and how good they are at patrolling and preventing other lions from coming in and killing the cubs. However, other older cubs also, around the carcasses and around feeding times, your size and your strength determines what you eat and how you eat it. So small young cubs surrounded by slightly older cubs or subadult lions can put a bit of pressure on the younger ones around a big carcass, meaning that they don't get the food that they necessarily might be needing or wanting. However, that extra pressure also pushes them to grow quicker and fight, and you develop different skills when you're hanging around your bigger, older, stronger siblings. And you'll see the young males, they might be outcompeted by their older cousins early on, but as soon as they start to grow and develop and get a bit bigger and a bit stronger, they might start outcompeting their older female cousins. It's always amazing. I mean, although look how full this lioness's belly is, young one following right behind with a very full belly as well, just sniffing around. I wonder what she's found. Maybe an organ. She's looking for any other good pieces of meat that she might be able to eat. And the young one is just double checking that there's not enough for it, but it's not the case. I know this bush is right in the way, but they might move a little bit more. Here comes this. So now we're starting to see a few more of them, and the carcass is finished and they're all kind of looking for a little piece. Look at the belly on that one. And they're both putting pressure on the lioness, but the lioness says, none for you, only for me. You've eaten enough. And full bellies like this is a happy pride. They're probably going to spend a large portion of today and maybe even the next couple of days kind of digesting and processing and saving energy. It would have taken a lot of energy to bring something down like this. And they've got the rewards. You risked a lot to bring down something so big like this, and now you are reaping the rewards of lots of food. The cubs are all well fed, and you'll see a lion. I mean, yesterday we had Ian in the sands with a male lion who was slightly injured, but a female, a good feed Good feed like this will kind of help any lion recover if they are injured. Stephanie, the cubs are looking good. I completely agree with you. Very happy. The lionesses have done their job. I don't know who hunted and killed this giraffe. Doesn't look like there are any males around. Okay, and while we stick around here trying to see if we can see what their next move is, this lioness is starting to get a little bit edgy. She may just find this place to move down, rest, but she may move off as well, maybe go and get some water. So we're going to stick around here, and it seems like our Mabula lions are back in signal. Let's go and have a look what they're up to.
There we go. As you actually find other lions going to find a soothing stop to actually get down for the day, on Mabula we are already on our spot where might potentially be here for some time, and the young ones are quite excited here, still feeding. Oh, look at that.
We are following the story of 32 rhinos that are making their way to their new home at Mabula Private Game Reserve.
Sign up today and you'll get instant access to wildlife. You'll also have access to our post-produced content, like a Wild Bush Week. Textbooks tell us that a ratio of 3-to-1 hyenas drive off lionesses. SafariLIVE Catch-Up.
We have got some doggies that are on the hunt.
And even that sort of cult favourite, The Wild Show. And the little one has made it out and hopefully will rejoin the herd. Wild Earth Explorers. Wilder. Together. We know that adverts pay our bills, but you don't necessarily like them. So, this is a fantastic way to stop being interrupted. Sign up today and you'll get instant access to wildlife. 24/7, ad-free, live and on demand. No pesky commercials, no rude interruptions, just wild Africa exactly as it unfolds. Wild Earth Explorers, wilder together.
I'll be like, hello. The excitement is something that you cannot actually hold. As I say, at sometimes my inner voice just comes out, and when I re-look at the moment, I just hear sounds that I was not even sure that I can actually make. Look at that. There's the mother. And you want to try to take a little bit of a nap there, because they walked a little bit far from where we actually found them from the first time. The young ones were actually running a little bit, so they will try to actually recoup that energy, because playing is quite vital for them, because the playing that they actually do will help them in future to actually be successful predators in terms of hunting skills. See how well they just camouflage in that long grass there as the sunlight gets enrich them. Oh, definitely, Norm. They love cuddling so much. You would see the best moment to actually see that part, Norm, is when sometimes the mother actually leaves them behind to try to actually get something to actually feed on. And at the moment that they reunite, the mother coming back, and you just see these three young ones running to the mother and then touching faces and then rubbing tails on one another, jumping up and down. It's just the most beautiful thing to see. I think it's one of their love languages, though, hey? Oh, look at that. Fantastic. I think they falling asleep now. There's a little bit of a movement. And you're going to notice, because the mother is actually now falling asleep or resting a little bit, they're going to make sure that when they lay down, they touch the mother, so that any movement that they do, the mother is actually aware of what is happening with them around her, while she also tries to get that energy for the day. Of which reserving energy is quite important for them, makes it quite vital for their survival. Hence they are opportunistic hunters, because they can mainly spend most of their day, up to about 20 hours of their day, resting and conserving energy. So any opportunity that presents itself, they do already have that energy to actually go for. That's what makes them one of the successful predators in the African continent. Hello, young one. Oh, this is the cutest thing. This is the cutest thing you can just watch. Like, look at that. The fluffiness, the ears, the eyes. It's just super amazing. But while we actually stay here and admire these beautiful cats, I'm going to send you back to Imara with some baboons.
Well, we left our lions in the mount to enjoy the sun and see what the plan will be, and decided to come to baboon headquarters. It's a place where you'll always find the baboons most of the time. But our male right here, as you saw earlier when he was licking, it's a wound. We're just curious what happened. He's put his hand over the wound. Oh, poor baboon. I don't know what happened to it. I'm trying to look through my binos to see what it could have been. Is it a bite? Is it... Yeah, don't touch it too much, buddy. Yeah, look at that. Looks very painful. He's licking the wound. So the saliva does at least contain some enzymes, specialized enzymes that kind of accelerate the tissue repair. But yeah, I'm just curious what happened, because sometimes males can be very aggressive towards one another, because this is a big boy and maybe he was testing out another male. Maybe he got bit on the leg, because this guy also boasts some really big canines. Canines that can cause even damage to big cats. Can see all of them around. But I feel sorry for this baboon. I'm just feeling sorry for him, because look how he's sitting. They're all having the sun on their back, so they're warming up. And usually, as I mentioned earlier on, when it has rained, especially in the evening, it's much cooler. So once the sun comes out first thing, a lot of our animals do want to go and sit out in the sun, warm up, get ready for the day. And that's what our baboons are doing. Oh, hello. He's also warming up. I find baboons hilarious. Look at him. Not a care in the world. Baboon says, you accept me as I am, or don't accept me at all. They're very true to themselves, but they're always quite cheeky, very hilarious. You can see all of them doing different things. Oh, look at this. This is a female. Oh, look at his canines. You saw her bum was very red, very swollen. She's not unwell, guys. That's just another signal of females showing that they are ready for mating. When it's really red like that. You saw she was trying to talk to him, but he said, get away. I'm taking in some sun. So this is another indicator of female baboons showing that they are in their season for mating. Get some food. I don't know if she's looking around a lot, but is she going back to the male? Look how she's looking at him. He's like, what do you want? That's why I like baboons. They're just so hilarious. And I've spoken about baboons, how, oh, why is she running? Jillian, oh, don't feel sorry for the baboons. They're always doing something, always very funny, always up to something. Like this one now has a baby. I don't know. The baby's right there. Look at it. That's a boy. It's a male. It's like, you're not my dad. Where's the mom? My goodness. What's going on? Can you guys hear the baby? Is that the mom? That's not the mom. Who is the mom? Oh my dear. This male is bullying this young one. But sometimes males can take care of another female's young one. And when he does so, he'll tell her in a funny way, like, next time you'll have to have my children. So it's a bit of a barter trade where he'll protect the young one and she'll be like, wow, you're such a good father. And then she'll be like, you know what, you should be the father to my next baboons. And that's how they do it. They have the long game. They don't think about today. These guys are very smart. Think about like a few months in advance, knowing that I'm not the most dominant male, but I still have to have at least my genetic code carried on. But look at the coat difference. Young baboon, much older one, not too old. Oh, baby. Dark mane lover, they are having a lovely morning. This baby has a babysitter who doesn't want to be the babysitter. I don't think that's your mom. That other baboon is too small. A baby like this about like a month. So usually they do have to grasp onto mom's belly. They keep warm when they're next to her. Oh, look at it. Legs are shaking, muscles are not yet good. By the time it's like even 3 months, 2 months, it's able to ride on mom's back. And it's always funny when they do so because mom looks like she's a horse. But I do like seeing them out and about in the morning. Look at that head. Look at those ears. Oh my gosh. Yeah, anything cute is just adorable. But I'm just so curious about the male and the whole dynamic. So you see all of them, there's so many. So this is how when they're older they ride on mom's back. Thank you, James. So that's now young one is most likely a month plus age, because now they're a bit stronger, able to now be on mom's back, more comfortable, grasp onto mom's fur. And that's a nice idea to, nice time to see how they're called the olive baboon. You see there's a bit of yellow in the hair. Each strand does have yellow and some black and brown. So when you put them all together, it just kind of looks this color. So much going on. You see, that's the thing with baboons. You just want to continue watching them. Look at this. Oh, 2 youngsters together. Are you pulling someone's tail? No. You're hugging. Oh, is that a hug? Look at them. Cutie, thank you for your question. No, well, sometimes, as I mentioned, if there's a male who wants to pursue a female, he will, one, protect her, even take care of the other young one, and she's gonna think, wow, you know what, you have really taken care of my young ones. I don't mind having any of your offspring. So that is not too abnormal. Look at them. Oh my gosh, baboons are just so funny. Grooming going on. Grooming helps them with cooling, like maybe not cooling off, but relaxing actually. And they're stressed. Being groomed by another kind of makes them feel much, much better. Look how playful they are. Look at that. The other baby is still being terrorized by the... I don't know what's going on. Look at them. The one which is now on the tree trunk is much younger. Here we have a serious spa session going on. Yeah, baboons are so interesting. So right now this is it's more of a therapy session. This is like when you go to a therapist and you say, you know what, I'm feeling stressed. My job, my boss, you know, rent. So for the baboons, this is now where they come and release all their stress. Of course, they're not paying rent, which is so nice for them. Must be very nice to be a baboon. Just choose any tree and it's your home. Oh, there's a lot of drama now. You know, big males will cause a lot of, again, drama. They like to stir it up. Our friend here is still warming up. There's some who don't care. There's some who care. Different personalities. And as our baboons continue their drama, we're gonna send you over to some very elegant animals, the impalas. Sending you over to some more gorgeous animals.
It sounds like that baboon sighting is amusing. We have had a rather gentle drive, and we came across quite a large herd of impala. They've slowly moved away from us to the left, but we've got this herd of impalas being kind of shepherded by the dominant male, and then we also had a sort of bachelor herd quite close to them that were performing and chasing each other around. It's coming to sort of the end of the rut, but there was still a bit of male dominance. One male was chatting, chasing the other males around, doing some stotting. I couldn't remember what pronking for impalas was. It's stotting. But yeah, nice to see his impala, just observing them. Maybe something will show up to make a meal out of them. But when I got this opportunity, just to announce that this afternoon, for all our loyal Explorer subscribers, there'll be a sort of live before drive starting out at 2:30, where you can go and check in with Imara and see. It's an informal, you know, Q&A. She might be on drive. She might show you some back of house stuff, and just something extra that we are bringing into the show for Explorer viewers. I'm listening to the radio, and it's been remarkably quiet this morning. These impalas have gone back to feeding, and the bachelor herd has sort of moved away, so things have settled down a bit. And we're kind of hoping that it's the calm before the storm, and we're going to get a massive sighting to make up for our quiet start. But while we keep looking for that magic moment, let's go and check in with Daniel and see what the Black Dam Pride is up to.
Okay, well, welcome back everybody, and yeah, and I wonder if the weather is doing the same in the Sabi Sands there as here, but we've just had a pretty thick mist roll through here, and with quite a lot of moisture in the air. I can even see there's a lot of like mist and water that's landing on the vehicle, and it's quite an interesting scene for this time of the year actually. My fingers and my face are even getting a bit wet from this mist, but we're still sitting here with the Black Dam Pride, who are busy licking the bones of this giraffe carcass. I thought one of the lionesses was going to get up and move away, but she's actually just come back. I mean, these two are just busy feeding there. Here comes another one from the left-hand side. It's going to be interesting to see where it goes, see which... Well, you see how this lion's turned its head, just trying to see if it's coming in there, and who it's going to try and compete with. It's going the back way around. You'll see even a young lion like that walking into those two lions that are feeding there. They've got a pretty good spot. And that younger lion on the left, better be careful, because if it walks in there and puts its foot wrong, it might get a bit of a lesson taught to it. Whether that be a smack to the cheek by one of its fellow Pride members to learn its lesson, particularly when there's not much left here. The competition becomes a bit more fierce, but luckily everybody seems to have had a really good feed, lots of food on a giraffe carcass. And this Black Dam Pride is they've kind of like specialized in hunting giraffe, or so it seems. I mean, more often than not we see them on giraffe carcasses. We did see them yesterday hunting buffalo, but they were unsuccessful. Ola, do I think that they lose each other in the thickets? Certainly. Particularly while they're hunting in an area like this, the grass is nice and long, but they might lose each other temporarily, but it's also a huge advantage to hunt while not being detected and using the element of surprise. Lions rely a lot on the element of surprise when hunting any animal, and I'm sure these animals eat a lot of impala. We just don't see it, because you're trying to share an impala in and amongst these, I don't know how many lions are here, at least 6. The impala doesn't last a very long time, and we do see them eating giraffe just because of the size of it. And it's interesting, I haven't seen a hyena in a really long time. I was hoping there was going to be a hyena sitting in the grass here, but it doesn't seem like it's the case. I mean, there are lots of lions here, which would be an intimidating thing for a hyena just to be hanging around. But there is a bit of movement here. I really want to wait around to see if they don't go towards a waterhole here. And while we sit and wait, see if they don't move around, let's send you to Tsepo, who's also still with his lions.
Oh, we are still here with these beautiful young ones. The cuddling continues. The young ones have been a little bit playful. Some wanted to go back to feast a little bit, nourish a little bit from the mom, but she doesn't seem to be taking it at this point. She's like, nope, I think you've had enough for the morning. Oh, there we comes. You'll just hear those sounds. You can hear this growling that is actually happening in the background there. See that one trying to pick up the tail of the other one at the back. There we go. Don't bite too hard. So this is the playing that we have been actually discussing, that it is quite important and vital for them. It helps as well as they grow older with their cognitive skills, being able to grab things. You'll see the curiosity becomes way too much, where they go to a point they will pick up sticks and just run around with it, pass it to each other. It's just an amazing moment to actually see them and their playful time. It's just super amazing to watch. Whispered something into the mother's ear there that the mother didn't like. What did you say, young one? Grooming mommy. Hello, Connie. The beautiful thing about lions, especially lionesses, is that they are able to assist each other in terms of taking turns. Like for an example, now we have this one female that has these cubs, 3 of them. The other female that moves with her can remain behind and watch while she goes to hunt, or they can both go to hunt, but they will assist each other. So based on the litter that they would actually have, they would work with each other in terms of raising that litter. To a point where if it happens that let's say both females do actually give birth at the same time or similar period, they do also do crossfeed, where they will actually breastfeed on the other one if the other female actually not there. So they do quite well with their social structure. Yep, mom is not taking it anymore, wants to recoup a little bit of energy first before they can continue to nourish again. Because as much as it is important for her to actually feed them, I just want you to listen to the sounds. It's just what makes it perfect for you to be in nature. Mom is not taking it, because also it is quite important that she reserves her energy as well, so that she can balance in between being able to actually nourish them and be able to have the energy to hunt as well. Oh, isn't that cute? You can just see eyes with how well it actually camouflages, and just the movement of the ear just below the mother's head, right? There we go. It's just super amazing when you sit quiet and just let nature speak around you, and then you pick up these different sounds. You can actually pick up the sound of the grass when it's being blown by the wind, and that Cape turtle dove calling in the background, that growling of the lion. Everything, that combination is just something that is unexplainable. The feeling is just so beautiful that you want to just soak it in. But as we are still here with the lions, I am going to send you back to Imara, who's also soaking in the beautiful moments of nature around her with the gentle giants.
Seppo, I wouldn't have said it any better way. You are exactly right. When we are in nature, let it speak for us. Let it speak, and we can hear and understand and get to learn something new. And here we are with one of our greatest teachers. Well, I consider them one of the greatest ones, the elephants. Look how gorgeous they're looking in this morning light. See how their coats are looking so dark. The rain was good to them too. So it's nice to cool off. And you have the cattle egrets, little 2 bodyguards at the bottom, enjoying the insects that get disturbed by the elephants. A lot of animals do depend on one another to disturb any place. Look at that. Guys, another walk by, elephants crossing the road. So why did the elephant cross the road? to get to the other side, obviously, duh. But just wanted to show you guys another walk by with the elephants. It's always really nice, and I think they're going to be making their way from the forest to the marsh area, which is always a nice place to come and see them as they go over from one side to the other. Warthogs in the back, so it's actually nice. You have two of each, 2 elephants, 2 warthogs, 2 cattle egrets, and the young one doesn't want to stay far away from mom. It's the best kind of roadblock, honestly. If only traffic was like this everywhere. We just get to pause, even tell your boss, hey, I'm actually gonna be late, because for reals, elephants did block the road and I just have to wait. I can't do anything about it. If only life was that simple. These all seem to be related. So that's mom with her 2 young ones. You can see the one who is a bit bigger. I'd like to guess about 3 years of age. And the young one, look at them, beautiful family. So you guys can use the excuse if you're ever running late. You can just say there's an elephant and just show them this clip, and they'll believe you. They'll be like, yeah, that is a road, and the elephants did block the road for a little bit. Elephants, I don't know what it is. They just make you feel so relaxed, because they're relaxed. Theo, yes. Daily dose of Mara elephants, just of course right here in front of us. And I'm just enjoying the sun, because this is like the best temperature of the sun. Once it gets hot, I'm always like, but right now this is good. I'm loving it. I know a lot of animals are enjoying it. The ground, you can see it was looking very muddy, lots of rain. We're so grateful. And our elephants, more elephants on the side. So there's a whole story that sometimes people say, well, it's not a story, it is true actually. The elephants come in sometimes from Triangle area, which is across Mara River, and they cross, they go through the forest, then they make their way to the marsh. And why the marsh is quite important, it's not saying the forest don't have any benefits, because elephants eat different types of species of vegetation in a day, but I do highly suspect that they like the reeds of the marsh, because the reeds also get to absorb a lot of different nutrients from the soil, because it's very waterlogged. And also there's some sections of the marsh area that has salt. Salt is very important for them. When you talk about sodium, there's a lot of calcium, potassium, all these different types of minerals that they'll be needing that maybe some vegetations don't have. So they know how to balance their diet, and they're like, guys, we've had this type of vegetation from the forest, from the grass. Okay, now let's go to the reeds, have a nice balanced diet. It's just like us. You need to have your veggies in a day, at least some fruits, not just like eating meats and all the carbohydrates. Have a good balanced diet like our elephants. How many they are? And if I try count, I think I'm seeing roughly around 20 plus elephants. And there was another day at the marsh we got to 60, which is not unusual these days. I think we're just getting really lucky with them coming over to the marsh, but it is a popular place for them. Rhinotown, yes, they are very protective. They're very gentle, very patient with their young ones. There was a day, this was in Samburu. I like talking about it because it's such a special moment. And baby elephant, it walked up to the vehicle as they were crossing. You see like how they're crossing the road. So the baby elephant walked up to the vehicle. Mom was like, let's say, less than 25 meters away. And the baby was reaching out its trunk and it touched the vehicle. And I think it doesn't know what the vehicle is. It was such a very tiny little baby. And it got scared, so it pulled back and did like a small little trumpet. It was freaking out. And then mom obviously walked over to the baby, put her ears like this to us. She touched the baby with the trunk and she was like, baby's okay. And then she walked away. That was like amazing. She didn't want overreact. She wasn't like, vehicle, come and attack or anything. And she was one to the baby, are you okay? And then she left the baby again. She actually walked away and she was like, you're going to have to learn that we are all even here, and all the different animals and even us again being on the game drives. That's how they learn. So when moms come to being protective, they can be very, very protective. Like, look at that. mom and young one crossing the road. Look at their feet also. It's a nice way for us to see their feet. Most of the time it's in the grass. Look at that. And the young ones will learn a lot from mom, a lot of copycat stage. Mom eats this plant, I eat this plant. Mom reacts this way, I'll react this way. So that's when you get to see how elephants in different parts of the continent, there's some which are very shy. And it's due to maybe some areas that have gone through conflict or war-torn areas. And elephants, they'll pass on the knowledge of, no, we're in fear. And then here in the Masai Mara, it's very different for them. They've been around us for years and years, and they get used to the vehicle. So again, you get to see how the environment is from looking at elephants. Are they fearful? Are they comfortable? They're a very good indicator of the environment too. And well, mom is the one who's going to be showing them that they can eat these certain different plants, that they can kind of go and go about this area. And it is very nice for them to learn from mom, because again, it's a copycat stage. Mom is going after this plant. Okay, we'll get to know the scent of that plant. It's just like us, like when we were kids. If mom says, or even dad, they're always saying, maybe they say bye, then you hear baby saying bye, because they mimic. It's the same with the Ellies. They say hi, maybe will mimic and now start saying those words. They'll start learning from who they're around. And now the same thing goes to our Ellies. And it is honestly quite amazing, honestly. I've said amazing many times, I know, because it is. And what other way can you describe these beautiful animals? Even the landscape itself with the dry trees. It's always really nice even seeing them cross the road. And as our elephants cross the road, we're going to take you over to a virtual safari in Sabuya. Maybe some boat crossing happening, but let's check it out.
So today we're going to be going on an adventure kayaking through the estuary. So we're going to go and explore the estuaries and specifically to the banks where we can find some organisms there and then get to see how exciting they are. So it's quite incredible when you look at the estuarine environment. It's such a unique ecosystem. So when we're talking about unique ecosystem, also the organisms that you can find in the estuary also needs to be able to adapt to the different conditions that come through with the estuary. For an example, we do have the tide coming through, so they need to be able to deal with the water level changes. They also need to be dealing with the salinity within the water, as is a mixture of both fresh water and salt water. So they need to have some adaptive skills so that they can be able to adapt to the situation. So for today, we're gonna also go onto the bank and try and find some interesting organisms there. So we've got a few different species of crabs that we can find on the banks. So through paddling like this, I also see some few birds. So right now from a distance, I see what we call the blacksmith lapwing. So it's one of the bird species that I can normally see around here on the bank. So they're called the blacksmith lapwing because they make a sound that sounds like somebody hitting on a metal. So just like the blacksmith. So that's why they're called the blacksmith lapwings. So I got an area around here where I can see some few activities of the crabs. So I'm gonna go and bank my kayak right over there and try and see if I can observe them. There we go. So I see a couple of holes and I can see some activities right over here. So let's try and see if I can just spot and just sit still and try and camouflage myself. So I'm going to camouflage myself right over here. Just wait for the crabs to come out and then we'll be able to see some of their activities when they finally come out. So this is when the little army crabs were feeding. So they normally pick up the soil, pick up the mud, and then just move it around their mouth, and then they get to create these little tiny bowls. And by that, it's almost like similar to filter feeding, but that's how they normally do it. So you normally see it just doing it around the mud, and they get to create these little tiny bowls. So right over here we've got these holes here on the bank. So this belongs to the red claw mangrove crabs. So you can see it was just busy maintaining its hole. So it removed most of the mud that came in during the high tide, and just to clean it up and just to maintain it. So these crabs over here, while they're out here, especially during low tide, what they normally will be doing, they will be collecting leaves of the trees that fall, leaves that will be falling from the trees. So what they will do with those leaves, they do feed on the leaves. So they almost like clean up the bank. So if you were wondering why most of the time when you find on the bank where there's trees and there's not a lot of leaves, is because of these crabs. So they will collect the leaves and then they will store them in the hole, and then for later utilization. So crabs forms the part of the cleaning crew. So they are the ones that normally clean the banks. And you can see right over here we've got another one with a hole that is closed, and then they also use the very same mud, which they use the very same mud to close the hole. Crabs of this size can easily fall prey to most of the big predators in the water, especially fish, especially when it's high tide. So what they will normally try and do, they'll be active out here when it's low tide, and then when it's high tide they will close up their holes and then hide inside, and then wait for low tide and then start all again. And some of the organisms that you can find here, right over here on the bank, you can also find things like mud prawns and sand prawns. So for those who enjoy fishing, you'll find that you bring a prawn pump, you get to pump for prawns, and then you get to use that as fish bait. So down here we do have the Cape clawless otters. We also have the water mongoose. So those are some of the two organisms that you can normally find close to the water areas, either the dams or the river. I've seen a couple of Cape clawless otters, but this one that was climbing right over here, you can see has got claws. So you can see there's some claw markings over here. And you can see that's almost like a highway where it normally goes up and down. Alrighty, I'm gonna head back into my kayak and then continue my journey. Thank you for joining us. Stay tuned and join us next time when we go and explore the African bush.
Yeah, Sabua, that sounds like a place that I would like to go and visit. Getting on the kayak, doing a bit of paddling, getting some exercise, seeing some amazing birds and other sights. Speaking of birds, we're at a pan called Jack's Pan, and we just were checking out Blacksmith Lapwing, seeing what they're up to. Earlier we stopped and had a little listen and thought we heard a long distance bark of possibly a bushbuck or maybe a kudu, but it's gone very quiet again. Maybe that leopard is on its way to us to come and drink at this pan. Lapwing's just picking off probably some insects here around the pan. There's a pair of them. Let's headed back to the water. Nice reflection there. Something's making a few ripples off to its left. Rodney, they can find them at water, but I wouldn't say they're aquatic. That's a good question, but they're usually sort of associated with water, so maybe that does make them aquatic. I don't know, it's a good question. Here in the low veld you usually find them around the pans, along with the three-banded plovers. But I think I have seen them sort of drier pans and in other areas, maybe more grasslands or wetlands. And for me, aquatic birds would be birds that swim or are always in and around water. I'll have to look that one up. Water birds, yeah, maybe ducks and geese be considered water birds. You do get ducks and geese in fields though, so maybe there isn't a hard and fast rule on this one. But I will say that just about every pan that we've come across here, usually there are some blacksmith lapwings on the periphery. We are going to get going, and let's go and check in with Daniel, who is taking out the microscope, keeping a few people very happy looking at stuff under the microscope. Over to Daniel.
Okay, well, welcome back by popular demand. This microscope is quite a cool little tool, actually. And what I've picked up here is a very pretty in color, dead round leaf teak leaf. And I'm not so interested in what's happening on this side of the leaf, but more interested in seeing what's happening at the back of this leaf. And this little white silk patch, I was able to pick this leaf up because firstly it's dead, and I've had a closer look and I'll show you shortly, but the inhabitants of that white silk patch are no longer in there, and that's allowed us to have a little closer look. So let's do that. Let me see if I can put this guy under the microscope and switch between. Let's see if this is going to work. Oh, there we go. Okay, so this allows us like a really good look at this very detailed and very intricate kind of web system that was placed behind this round leaf teak. Would have been done when it was alive, allowing the silk to actually mold the leaf into the pattern that this little spider wanted. And you can see this little exoskeleton of the one side of the spider. Let me see if I can turn it here. And here's another, looks like a different leg that's been shed. That's another indicator to us that this sac is no longer in use. These are the exoskeletons of the young. I mean, the spiders would have hatched being very small, but they would grow very quickly. And once they grow, they need to kind of shed their skin. And the shed skin has been caught in this web. Now, I'm not 100% sure what spider this might have been, but the spiders in this area that tend to make their nests like this, my first guess would be a sac spider. They tend to have little silk ball nests like this done behind the back of leaves, and you often find the remains quite like this. Another one would be potentially a jumping spider, and I think baboon spiders and rain spiders also make, I mean not baboon spiders, but a jumping spider, but this looks a little bit too big for a jumping spider. But it's crazy that this microscope can pick up, I mean, how the colors in that leaf and the detail in there as well. Sorry, I'm not going the wrong way with the focus, but there you go. Jeez, look at that detail. The exoskeleton and the very clear, obvious silk patch, which would have been a nest for a spider. My guess is a sac spider. But okay, everybody, that's very fascinating, and a good look at a round leaf teak leaf with a spider's home in it. But let's head back to the vehicle and let's see what else we can find this morning.
Ooh, I want to get a microscope now. To be so nice to see things, but so far we got the binos, which is not too bad. And I know you're wondering, Imara, what are we looking at? Yeah, we're looking at me. I'm joking. But no, we are here looking at this nest. And I remember a few weeks ago, I think about 2 weeks ago actually, we drove around this area and I saw a batalier and it was sitting on this nest. And then as we were driving around the area, I saw one perching on top of a tree. And I was like, oh my gosh, I forgot that we did see one of the bataliers sitting on this nest. And I remember the tree, it was just by the road and it was next to what looks like to be a weaver bird's nest, I think, if I'm not wrong. So many beautiful nests in the bird kingdom. But I was like, yeah, I saw the batalier and it's nest. So I just want to come and see if there's anyone at home. That's why I was looking through my binos. And no, I'm going to call my binos lion eyes because that's what I called them earlier on in the morning. So far I'm not seeing anyone at home, like no movement, but seeing the other batalier, it was on this tree somewhere there. So you can see the area we're in. It's just filled with trees. It's so beautiful. It's very nice and relaxing. I just love going into the forest sometimes, but just now up this tree. So since the batalier is not on the nest, I will just try get a good position for us to look at the batalier itself. I don't know if they're changing the name over to short-tailed eagle. I don't know why. I like batalier. Sounds nice. I'm not so sure actually, but so far I think this is theirs. They've built it. And I want to make sure that what I was saying was the right bird because it was a bit far out in one of the trees. So I'm still looking up just in case I see any movements. But so far, just a nest, just sticks all together. But I do love this section. There's a lot of green heart trees around. And I'll talk about the trees a bit later on. But I'm going to try get to our batalier. And batalier, I think in French it does mean balancing on a tightrope or tightrope batalier person. So when you see them flying, they look like they're always kind of like wobbly, but I think that's due to their short tail, which now I think they're being called the short-tailed eagle. I don't know if the change of names needs to happen. Batalier sounds cool. Yeah, so no one's home right now, but I did see one of them. And they're usually together. They're always in pairs. That's why I was hoping one of them was going to sit down. But right now, I'm just going to just try get to see our other real batalier who is perching on the tree. Ladybug, it can look like a hammerkop, but imagine the hammerkop. Now imagine like 3 times a bit bigger and much thicker because it is a very, very big nest. Our hammerkops, we'll see them later on also. They're very common around. They do like to do their frog hunting. Once in a while we see them just catching a lot of frogs, even in the early morning. Yeah, so the nest is just on one of these trees right here. I'm just trying to take another look, another different angle. I would love to see like a batalier chick. That would be so cool. Yeah, but I did see one sitting on the branch. It's very tough not to recognize them. Very colorful. They have like the orange parts of their face and their legs. And also with the sun today, it's just perfect for a lot of animals to be basking. Sunbathing day, sunbathing morning. Where did I see you? But such beautiful birds, honestly. One of my I have so many favorite birds. I'm getting to know a lot more about them. It's like meeting new friends. You make new friends every day. Tristan, no, I haven't. Oh. I just saw a southern ground hornbill on a tree. Is it? No, we haven't checked on the vulture nest, but I will for sure. Trying to get the best angle because we're seeing our terrestrial friend up on a tree. Yeah, cool. Big James knows the best positions for getting the best angles for us. Yeah, Okay, so good. We've seen one colorful bird. I'm gonna keep a lookout also for the other colorful bird. So let's see if we have it. Look at that, guys. Southern ground hornbill, not on the ground, up on the tree. And I'm also liking the lichens. Look at the lichens on the tree branch. When it rains, everything just comes to life. Forest areas. There's a whole different vibe to it. Very calm. It's cool. It's the same way we're talking about how it's much cooler next to bodies of water. In the forest, it is also pretty cool. It's only one of them. They're usually in pairs. Maybe this is the same pair we keep on seeing around the marsh area. Dan, it is, right? I think I'll also be adding this to our stop. Most of the time we do see our animals just showing off and coming out. But guys, hold on. I'm just wondering what to do here. I'm seeing a lot of other new friends, but I like our other friend. Sorry, I'm just going to be a little bit selfish here. Southern ground hornbill, thank you very much. But guess what? I'm seeing some giraffes crossing the road. I don't know if you can see them behind me, actually. Hey, giraffes. Why is everyone crossing the road today? Where is everyone going? Is there a meeting I don't know about? And if they're crossing like this, I know they will be going to an open area. Let's see, I'm just gonna give good space for our last one. I think is crossing. I think 5 of them have crossed over now. I'm just gonna wait patiently here. Yeah, our young boy is trying to catch up with the rest. Sorry, James, I know we're a bit on the slope. But Big James never misses. Look at that. We saw them earlier on, but we're thinking they're gonna go deeper into the forest. But they just wanna cross the road. So also, guys, not only do elephants make you late for work, also giraffes. So if your boss tells you what happened, I swear to you, giraffes and elephants are crossing the road. Why did the giraffe cross the road? I'm not gonna say to get the other side. I'm gonna come up with something better. I gotta think about that one. You guys can help me out and say what you'd think why the giraffe crossed the road. Giraffe, why are you crossing the road? Beautiful girl. No, it's a young boy, actually. Look at those ossicles. My bad, young sir. Or is it a female? Or is it a shade? You guys are playing tricks on me now. With the females, they do have like pom-poms, I like to call them. The ossicles on top do look more with fur, like their hairs stick out nicely. And the males, it's usually like a hard bone. It looks very shiny because they do neck each other, which is when they swing their necks and hit each other. Sometimes it is playful and sometimes very, very aggressive. And there goes our giraffes. Oh, lovely. That's great. I know we'll catch up with them if they're going to walk out. Oh, there's more. My goodness. Raina, right? Lovely, lovely. I'm gonna do another one. Guys, I think we're getting so much luck with walk-bys. Are they walking across? You guys can see the giraffe. That's really great. Our tall, beautiful, elegant supermodels of the savannah walking out of the forest into another forest and then hopefully out into the savannah. And we've been seeing this journey because as they're walking, it is a journey of giraffe. And when they're standing, it is a tower. And with these guys, they have been showing themselves a lot more often recently, which is great. Giraffes, their numbers are actually quite low when you think about it. I know we see them often, but they are vulnerable. So when we get to see them, guys, remember that we need to advocate more for them, and we do love them. From our giraffes in the Masai Mara to Ian, let's go see what he has for you guys on the screen.
Welcome back to the Sabi Sands, and it's still the calm of the storm. It's almost starting to get a bit of a complex. I think we've seen two lots of impalas, and now I'm my mind starts racing, and I notice that I'm thinking, oh, maybe we used up all our luck last night seeing the big man TP, but I mean that's just ridiculous. But just shows you where your thoughts go when things are a little quieter than usual. It's still quite overcast here, so I'm sure the animals will be fairly active for much longer today. But we are still looking, and we're still on the hunt. Finity, no, I've only heard leopard. I think I heard leopard on my first evening. And then last night I heard lions calling, and lions are sort of scattered. We heard them west of us, east of us. I know all the guides have been looking, but the radio's been pretty silent as well, so I don't think anyone has found any lions this morning either. No sign of leopard on the radio either. So it's just one of those mornings where we've got to just carry on, dig deep, and you sort of think, oh well, if I think like this, maybe the outcome will be different. But you try all the eventualities. You look for those pink socks as lucky omens. Here's some more impala. Kingfisher calling behind us. There's also looks like there's a nyala here. Maybe we can get that one. A little young male nyala, young male nyala with these impala feeding under a leadwood tree. You can see the youngsters, just the horns are still growing a bit, keeping safe with this small herd of impala. It's our third herd of impala we've seen today, so third time lucky. Beautiful markings on that nyala there, the yellow socks.
Hi, I'm Cedric Dold, Wild Earth presenter and private guide. I'd love you to join me on safari. In September, I'll be at Valgevonden for a beautiful spring safari. And in November, I'll be tracking Wild Earth's famous leopards here in the Sabi Sands. Come and share the wildlife, the stories, and the adventure with me. Book now and let's go on safari.
My name is David.
I have a wealth of experience being in African bushes for so many years. It gives me a lot of joy when I am able to translate what is happening on the ground.
You're looking good. Jumbo to all of you. Let's go.
Before you go back home, as my guest, you're going to take home a memorable safari experience.
When the Mara turns green, life surges, the air hums, the earth stirs, and the wild comes alive. Here, the wonder never ends. It just changes color. Every storm, every sunrise, every sweeping vista is an expression of wild magic. Visit the Masai Mara. Experience the magic. The Explorer Chat is a magnificent way to make new friends who share your interest in nature. As an explorer, you'll also get your very own dashboard and personalized profile, plus the ability to save and share your favorite wildlife incidents with our brand new Safari Screenshots feature. Share sightings, swap stories, and experience nature together with people who feel the same pull to the wild as you do. Wild Earth Explorers, wilder together. We know that adverts pay our bills, but you don't necessarily like them. So, this is a fantastic way to stop being interrupted. Sign up today and you'll get instant access to wildlife. 24/7, ad-free, live and on demand. No pesky commercials, no rude interruptions, just wild Africa exactly as it unfolds. Wild Earth Explorers, wilder together.
Finding the fresh, or the grass that hasn't been eaten yet under the tree. But from this peaceful scene, let's go and check in with Chepo and see what he's got off the vehicle.
You know, one fascinating thing about the bush is that it doesn't have to be loud to make a statement. And as we had beautiful sightings of lions this morning, and then we left them to just settle down for the day, and we'll check them sometime later or tomorrow. But we came across this beautiful thing that is actually happening here. As Mara was with the elephants, we also have an activity. So if you actually look here, the elephants actually pushed down this tree here. They often do that, the males especially, just to show dominance. And they would often push the tree, of which there's now, in most situations, the tree would completely die. But here we have an amazing situation where once the tree was actually pushed down, not all of the roots actually came out. You can see on this other side the roots actually came out, but if you look, there's quite more roots that actually came out. But as we actually know that with the trees, they require more of water and the sunlight to actually be able to produce their own food through photosynthesis. Now the tree, if you actually look at it, after it was pushed down with that elephant, it did now tried to redirect its branches from the way that it was actually going on. So instead of continuing to actually push them further down, they're going to actually go up. Hence you are seeing this little bit of a competition that we have here between the bush willow and the other trees that are actually in the area here. So it is quite fantastic to actually see that even after being pushed down that hard, it is still having that resistance to actually survive and continue to actually provide shelter, because you're going to notice a rhino was actually sleeping here quite, you're able to see the tracks. So they are still able to produce nesting for birds as well. So this is where nature tells you that even after such important thing, the termites now will be able to actually have home and feed on the decayed ones, and you're going to get everything starting to actually be happy of this tree again.
Okay, well, welcome back to Sandringham, everybody. And we were just watching a pair of Egyptian geese in what I thought was like they were establishing a nest site and kind of calling a territory. They were perched in this tree. I'm going to give it a little moment, see if they don't fly back. If this is a potential nesting site, they were up in the tree, the male and the female, and they were calling. I'm just going to keep quiet in a moment because there are 4, I think, different pairs of Egyptian geese all competing. Don't know if you can hear that in front of me. That calling is coming from that side. It was a different pair to that was sitting in this tree here. And Egyptian geese are fiercely territorial, and I thought these 2 jumped out of this tree to go and chase another 2 away. Maybe that might be getting too close to the water. The water's just on the other side here, but they haven't come back. They might be having a little more serious dispute on the ground. I mean, it's crazy. In this big body of water, there must be 1 pair in front of me. The pair that was here, I can still hear another 3 different pairs of Egyptian geese, all of which are establishing their own little territory around the waterhole. And these 2 that were up in the tree are very likely looking for a nest. Egyptian geese love to put their nests off of the ground, which is unusual for a goose. It's actually a duck, in fact, but its name is an Egyptian goose. And you see a male and a female that were perched up in this tree. I wonder if we can't drive a little bit forward here and spot those two, the other two that were calling. I don't think, oh, there one flies. I don't think they're coming back to that spot. It would have been great. And you'll see they'll spend the whole day kind of like flying up and down the periphery of this watering hole, looking for the best territory and defending theirs. Okay, so from some elusive Egyptian geese in Sandringham, let's go see if Imara can keep those ground hornbills in focus.
Our beautiful southern ground hornbills also crossed the road. I don't know what's happening, guys. I think the road is bringing luck. It's all the animals just want to cross the road. They've been telling Big James that. So not only did the elephant, giraffe, now a southern ground hornbill does make you late for work, or just there was a roadblock. So guys, you can always use all of those. But these two, one was sitting on the tree, the one we saw earlier before our giraffes showed up, and the other one was on a nearby tree, flew down, and the other one now flew down to join the mate because they're always in pairs. And then they crossed the road and walked away. They did a small jog, little trot, and they just kind of caught up with each other. So usually with southern ground hornbills, it's not unusual to see them in the tree, especially early morning or late night, because they do go to the trees when it's dark. So it's much safer for them to be up on trees. It's easier and safer. And for them to come down on the ground during the day, it's time for hunting, and also a time to use those beautiful legs that they have. Even their feet, very much designed for walking on the ground, although they can fly. So when it comes to preening, the preening will have to be a little bit more intense than some other birds because they're, again, always on the ground, and preening is for cleaning. Priska! Yes, today is crossing the road day. Thank you so much for your comment. I don't know, Priska, is it Priska? Priska, the one I know? Could be. Thank you so much for your comment. And yeah, today's crossing the road day. Our animals have been enjoying it, and we are enjoying it too. And they've gone this way. Maybe try to catch up with them. I don't know if maybe Big James is seeing them, but this is the road they just followed, kind of walking into the tree area on the right. But that was great. I love seeing them even just like gliding down from the tree. So maybe we can try catch up with them. Or maybe even try catch up with the giraffes if they're now out in the open. It's always nice for animals when they are in the forest. It's much safer. Instead of being out in the open, lions don't mind being out in the open. They always have numbers with them. When you're talking about our herbivores, even birds, even the baboons, once it gets darker, you'll see them actually going into the trees, going up on top. And daytime, they all emerge. So the forest, as you can see behind me, it's a pretty big mansion for a lot of animals. Different bedrooms for them to have their own space. Of course, I'm sure the elusive leopards also love it there, but here in this area, they're very, very shy. It does make sense because that's part of their nature. Element of surprise is in their DNA. Why would they want to let us know their every move? But when we get to see them, we're always very lucky. So I'd like you guys to send us some luck here in the Masai Mara to spot some of the shy leopards. That would be great. And yeah, they're not gone too far. Let me try get you guys a nice angle. Yeah, I go this way. So even for the southern ground hornbills, they are starting the day the way we are. Lola, thank you for your question. Last time I saw a leopard, it was this year, but not in this area. It was actually, yeah, I think it was at Big James. That time we got to see those Olamunyak, we saw Luluka. I think it was the time we were with Luluka eating the reedbark on the tree when she was devouring the brain. That was the last time I got to see a leopard. And that area, the leopards in that side, because they all have their own territories, they are not shy at all. And they're used to being spotted and seen, and they grow up pretty well with all the the cars and people, so they don't mind. But when you look at this side, ooh, it's, I don't know, very tricky. There are a few leopards from the Musiara side that are well known, but with the thick forest, they do like that area. It's again pretty tough versus our other leopards who like to cross from one balanite tree to another balanite tree, and you have to cross the grassland, so it's easier to see them, and obviously again territories. And our southern ground hornbills, I'm assuming these are the same ones we saw the other time. Their numbers are hopefully bouncing back. It is sad to hear that they are vulnerable, and it's something that we need to always talk about. Yes, we do get to see them and appreciate their beauty, but we also get to spread the awareness of how they are. Such gorgeous birds, very big for hornbills, and very sharp beaks. So today I know they've started their hunt. They're gonna catch whatever they'll see. And the other day we also had, I think, the same pair being mobbed by some different lapwings. If it wasn't the crown lapwing, I think it was, or the spurwing lapwing. There were two species that day together. You can see how it's walking around. And they make such amazing sounds. You just hear hoo hoo hoo. So one day I would like to see when they're making some sounds. And I'd like you guys actually to watch one of the leopard highlights. This is a time when we were on the other side of the Masai Mara. I was with Big James that time, and since we're talking about elusiveness, we can just check out this highlight of one of our favorite leopards. This is Olamunyak. This is Luluka's son. He had a kill. I heard he killed a reedbuck. I don't know why he's going up the tree without the kill. It's as if he's like, I don't know, lost it? I don't know. He's just there. And he went up, like where he's going. Look at that. Look at him. Look at that tail, how he's using it. That's why tails are very important for leopards and cheetahs especially. Lions, we've seen them missing a bit of their tail. But for leopards and cheetahs, balance is a very big thing for them. Look at him. You see how the tail also plays a very big role in that balance, how he's even sitting, not just the climbing part. What a handsome boy, honestly. He was quite confused that day. I think he was like, I dropped the kill. What do I do? Do I go down for it? But that's the thing. Leopards, all different personalities, all of them, all the animals, not just leopards. Even the way I was talking about the elephants, even our lions, even the cubs as they grow up, we'll get to see who is a bit cheeky, who is a bit aggressive, who is a bit shy. They all have their personalities. And these southern ground hornbills were still with them. I think their personality is just very chilling. And the other day I was talking about how they were being mobbed. And I think for them, the attitude is more of, they don't really care. They were just like, yeah, mob me, but I'm still gonna go about my day. So bye-bye hornbills, good luck with your breakfast. We're gonna try get some luck with some leopards, with Dan. Let's see what he's able to find for you guys.
I'm afraid no sign of leopard just yet. However, we are right on the banks of the riverbed, the Timbavati riverbed, and if there were one, this would be the place it would be. So let's keep our fingers crossed. First Sandringham leopard. But it also looks like there's a bit of a bird party going on in front of us, and they are still mostly here. I mean, start off on the road there, Sean, but it looks like there's some blue wax bulls. Those tiny little, okay, let's come this side. Looks like there are a couple of blue wax bulls there. It looks like there might be a golden-breasted bunting a little bit further ahead on the road. Are you all good there, Shawnee? Okay, so you can see the little blue wax bulls there. Very obvious blue chest. There was a black-headed oriole. You can hear a black-crowned chagra in the back here. And these birds that are on the road are all feeding on like the grass seeds that have blown off and been caught on the road. Yeah, I mean, geez, now where's this Oriole gone? Trying to see if I can't spot. That's a really good bird to get. Black-headed Oriole. It's a very pretty yellow bird. Oh, there's another one. Its partner's calling to the left here. There goes this common scimitar, just flew up a little head. I mean, so these birds that are on the road here, them being there, they're quite vulnerable. Yes, there's a lot of grass seeds that have flown into the road, often by vehicles or animals that are walking on the roads, and that's why there's an abundance of grass seeds that they're busy feeding on. They also become super vulnerable. So I'm hoping that, like, the fact that there are still quite a few on here, that either more come down, maybe a different species or two comes in. Willow, would the smaller birds ever share nests? No, not really. Oh, there's a golden-tailed woodpecker. I don't know if you heard that. They will create their own nests, and they're often quite fragile. I mean, a lot of other birds might parasiticize and kind of like lay their eggs in another bird's nest. Like the indigo birds will use... Which bird does an indigo bird use to lay its eggs in? And then the host bird will, I can't remember, will raise its chicks. The cuckoos are the same. The cuckoos will go and lay their eggs in other birds' nests, and then let that host bird raise the chicks for them. In that case, I guess another bird is using its nest, but they're still relying on... Oh, there's another bird that's just flown in here. Oh, there's our woodpecker. Chinspot Battis, another one to add to the list there. I mean, it's crazy when all these birds kind of congregate together. Nadine is pointing out, I mean, it's a little bit difficult to get all the birds that I'm busy talking about on the screen, but there are blue waxbills and one golden-breasted bunting at the back there. It looks like a golden-breasted bunting. But in and amongst them on either side of the road, there are a few that are jumping between. So I'm hoping that the ones that are jumping on the side there, let's see if... To the right there, Sean, I'm going to come back to the dash. Looks like that Chinspot Battis is just off to the right of the road there. Can you see it sitting in that? Is it the Battis? Oh, now he's chopped off. You see, this is challenging. You might still be there. Sean, do you see that just to the right of that bird that you are on now? There's that little black and white bird that's now really just flown off. Okay, I think we're going back to the waxbills and hoping that they don't pop up onto the road.
Morning, all mobiles. It was radio down from Full.
I was about to say how peaceful and quiet it is with all the birds. I was about to say how peaceful and quiet it was, listening to all these birds chirping and moving around, and then the radio blared. It spoiled the silence, but a very important tool. Martin, are the Chinspot Battis males the ones with the brown on their chest? They're the ones with the big black stripe across their chest. The brown ones, I'm pretty sure, are the females. And there was, yeah, these waxbills are actually flying quite close here on the right. I'm not going to try and put Sean under the pump here, but they've actually come really close to us. The few that are in the road are still there. But our presence have not turned on or moved or made too much noise in the past 5 minutes or so. It's just allowed them the freedom and the flexibility to move around comfortably. Okay, well, I think we've had a good bird party here. Let's see if we can carry on our drive along the Timbavati River here. And it seems like Imara has found some impalas.
Look at what we have. It's been a good drive, I know, from our locations. We're having good sightings. Now a bit of a switch up. I know we have some impalas also from South Africa being seen. But here are the Mara impalas. and can see them all just enjoying the grass. These are the female impalas, and they were doing some very interesting behavior. Sometimes they just start running and you see them like lifting their tails, a lot of communication from each other. Usually when they do that, they think there's danger around. They're trying to kind of confuse and scatter. Like, wait, hold on, let's see if it will cross, huh? There's been a few of them just being a bit active than usual, but I love seeing it. And of course, it's a harem. There's one male who's in charge of all these females. And the funny thing is with the females, they don't have any loyalty to the males. The male, oh, you are on your own. Once there's another male who comes and challenges him, the females won't say or retaliate and say, no, we want to keep him. They'll be like, okay, bye-bye, on to the next. The female impalas, all they care about is resources. They just want to have good places to eat, enough water, have their young ones. Very simple. While the male, he's like, okay, is everyone here? He's calling out like a whole call sheet. You know, in school when you have the roll call, is everyone here in class? So the male has to go through, you know, my females, are they here? Is there a male around? Doesn't get time to eat and rest, always stressed. But the females, on the other hand, their life is very much opposite. It's more of like, oh, you're here, okay. And I'm hoping for, of course, for them to have a lot of young ones very soon, as the females try to sync up the whole cycle. And the male will have a lot of work, obviously, with all these females, to have his offsprings with them. And the females will just give birth, single little ones. And usually it's more about quantity, actually, versus quality. Elephants, hippos, it is more about quality, meaning it's one baby. They take care of the baby for a very long time. Well, impalas is very fast here and there, tiny little ones everywhere. And that's due to because impalas, they are obviously targeted by a lot of different carnivores. So when they have all their young ones who are very vulnerable also, they get to at least have a few of them, well, more of them to survive. Phoebe, ooh, well, they don't really change color between seasons. Most of the times you see impalas looking more of the color that they have right now. Different parts of the country, you'll see maybe the coat looking a bit darker, maybe due to environmental factors. But the impalas, this is how we see them throughout the year. So maybe if you're looking at different locations, you will see on the different locations, as I said, environmental factors, very hot area. The ones in Samburu, which is northern Kenya, they have much darker coats, in my opinion. Even the lions up there have much darker coats. So all environmental factors do play big roles in their coat color. But look at that, nice and golden. I just love them so much. They're so elegant. They're so pretty. They always look like they're wearing doll shoes. And the doll shoes, what I'm talking about is they have the glands at the bottom of their back legs. And there are little black spots. Right now, of course, with the tall grass, can't see them. So when they're walking around, you just see them looking like they're wearing doll shoes, which is honestly quite attractive, very cute. But those glands are very important when they're jumping up and down, and for them, instead of fighting, flight is their best mode of defense. So just scattering and running and being agile as they are. And sometimes, you know, these big numbers, they all go in different directions. So their glands do secrete this whole scent trail that other impalas will be able to follow the other ones who are running different directions, and they can come back together again. There's always safety in numbers, and they do know this. Oh, what a handsome male, though. Look at him. And he's very much looking at his females. Good luck, male, you have a lot of work to do, and females, you just enjoy your day. We're going to send you over to Ian, who is off the vehicle. Let's see what tracks he's looking at on the road, since today seems to be a road-themed day. Let's go check it out.
All right, so we are currently at the pan where we saw that those two male lions in the last couple of days, and I know there were a lot of questions about the two Nzenga males, and have they hooked up, have they got back together again? And we just came across these tracks. They were called in the radio, so it's not like we found them, but we've got one male lion track over here. The sort of back pad. There's actually a better one here. And you can see that nice classic, those 3 lobes, and that's a nice big male lion track. So there's one lion track that's walked up this road. Behind us is the pan, and then if we scoot across to this side, you'll see another set of tracks over here. So that means that it's unless it walked up that way and then looped back and then walked up here again, that both the male lions look like they're together. Looks like they're heading up there. That's for you, Kilmon. They found it that way, but I don't think they're on our property at the moment. I think they've gone north, but it is nice to know that they might have got back together according to this. If these are their tracks, then they got back together and there's a nice reunion, and that's what everyone wants to know about. But always interesting to piece together the story on the tracks. Yeah, thanks, Sherry. I think that's why we thought we'd just share that info from you and tell that story, looking at these tracks here. The guys did call it in this morning, but the big boys, and they're walking, so it'd be nice if they come back down to visit us again. We are certainly looking out for them, and we'll keep you updated. But some exciting news. Let's go and check in with Sandringham and see what they've got up the tree for us.
Okay, well, Imara was wishing leopard luck this morning, and Ian might be confused because I don't know if I'm a leopard or a dead impala in the tree here. However, either which is like wishing the leopard luck here at Sandringham. If I were a leopard and I was operating on Sandringham, this would be the most perfect tree to kind of like put a carcass up in a little cranny over there, exactly where I was lying. Even for myself, it was pretty comfortable, whether I was a leopard or an impala hanging up in this tree. But we're trying to wish as much luck. First leopards in Sandringham. I know there have been a few that have been seen. I'm yet to see one. Tough place for a leopard here, with so many lions around. But this big, beautiful jackalberry on the banks of this wonderful Timbavati that's still flowing is like the most perfect place. And if I remember back to my guiding days on the same river, not far downstream, like this would be a tree that I reckon you would see a leopard at least running around in several times. You might even find different bones from different carcasses that get stuck up in the tree. I was at a camp the other day where a male leopard had stolen a piece of hide of a giraffe carcass and took it up into a tree, and it was there for like 6-7 months, and that giraffe hide is still up in the top of the tree and maybe there for a very, very long time. Yeah, and if I were looking for a place to sleep for the day and have caught an impala or a duiker close by, I would definitely be putting it up in here. You've got a really good vantage point as well. I will mention that this is a tough place for leopards to grow up. Naked back, you obviously on Ian's side and thought I was more a leopard. I think I was doing a better job of being a dead impala, in fact. But not quite the real leopard. I'm just wishing some leopard luck. And yeah, I was saying it's quite a difficult place for leopards to be operating in because of the amount of lions. We saw those lions killing a giraffe. That's like the sign of a very dominant pride. And that's one of the reasons that Sandringham... yeah, so I mean, to be in a leopard in here with so many lions around can be incredibly tricky, but they do it, and they do thrive, and it's only going to get better and better. Okay, while I try and get out of this tree, let's send you over to a highlight from when Steve found a leopard here in Sandringham.
Being an ecosystem engineer, he relies on the system. He's feeding on the nutrient-rich reeds that are slowing the water, extracting the nutrients and helping them to grow. So he's benefiting from that. We've got a leopard. We've got a leopard. Goodness gracious, this is the second time
The leopard has done this to us, hey, Bibo? Did she make a noise, or why did you...
I just heard the grass.
You heard the grass. Yep. She is pretty. Let's see if you can get some facial recognition, everybody. She's coming back. Very relaxed. Now, if a leopard wasn't relaxed, she would have taken off by now. This might even be an adult female. I can't see her mammary gland. She's not a big girl, but female leopards aren't notoriously large. My first thoughts was she was the same female I saw, but it might be that female's mom. I don't know, everyone.
Lucky you, Steve. But while we're here, there's always a chance and always an option, and we're waiting for that. I mean, that's often how leopards get seen, is they just find you rather than you find them. And if they don't want to be seen, they rarely will. But anyway, we're now back, managed to get out of the tree safely, lucky me as well, and back in the vehicle, continuing along this riverbed, looking in all these big jackalberries, some weeping boer beans, and looking for that image. Once again, you guys need to let me know whether I was doing a better job of being a leopard in that tree or a dead impala. I think I was getting closer to the dead impala. But anyway, let me carry on going down here, and let's go check in with Tsepo and see in the last time he saw a leopard at Mabula.
Oh, a leopard. It's a little bit tricky, but at least not that far off. I have at least about 3 to 4 weeks since I had a young female that was actually moving past. It was a quick sighting, it was a brief sighting. Got super excited to actually get to see that. It's always nice seeing leopards, and I was telling Leander, hopefully we do actually get to see one this afternoon. But we had a quick sighting of African jacana. We were hoping that it would actually come back. It's still in the dam, but just a little bit out of our sight at the moment. And I was hoping that we can actually find it, and you will notice. And as I was actually looking at it, it came as a reminder that, you know, it is one of the few species that actually practices polyandry, where one female is actually responsible of mating with multiple males. And you will notice, you do also find that kind of relationships, like on antelopes, they go into practice polygyny, where one male is responsible of mating with multiple females. And you look at the more sensible reason behind it is that it is nature's way of trying to avoid inbreeding, where, because if you look at your antelopes, they do not live that quite longer. They can live up to about 14 years, some of them up to about 10 to 12 years, some of them even less. And with that, it helps out in terms of nature choosing that perfect genetic, you know. That's why nature is just super amazing. If we just take time and move slowly and just learn from nature, it's just one of the most beautiful to see and just experience. Oh yes, Shelley. The matriarch has managed to actually move the head around all the watering holes that we do actually have. We are now on Main Dam, and I have had them here in Main Dam, and we've had them at Mvubu as well. They love swimming at Mvubu, one of the most beautiful sightings that you can actually see, because it's quite a bigger dam, and just seeing them doing their tricks and moving and swimming and just moving underwater, and you can just only see the trunk going up. It's just one of the most beautiful things to see. So yes, Shelly, they do actually explore all of these dams that we actually have. But we are going to continue moving, and hopefully we are able to actually find a little bit of something as we do actually move. You'll know, with nature, with the wild, with the bush like this, you are never guaranteed to see anything. Everything around the corner is a mystery. So as we move, let's see what specialty we can actually get just around the corner. You'll see the lighting is so perfect, everything doing quite well. But as we actually move, I'm going to send you back to Ian, who is also looking for something special. Hopefully it happens just around the corner.
Yeah, we're definitely hoping for something exciting around any corner. We did come across these, there are actually two of them. I'm testing on Paul's camera skills. But we got two bateleur that are taken a classic sort of shape of the wings, that short tail. I think we saw a bateleur in the area, when was it, yesterday morning. I was going on about the Latin name, and it means short tail. But yeah, always nice to see and watch them, see if they can pick up on anything. I also had a question that whether they scavenge. They do scavenge, but they also do predate. So nice to be able to answer that question again while we're seeing the bateleurs. This one that we actually were looking at, I had a look on my through my binoculars, and it looks like the male, has got like a bit more black under the wings, whereas the female has a thin black strip. Nathan, yes, I've seen fish eagles calling. We actually also just saw a fish eagle about 5 minutes ago carrying a massive branch. I managed to take a snap of it. But yeah, birds can call. A lot of them do displays. If you think of the larks, they will do their display, the cisticulars, while they're flying. But yeah, Paul's passing the test, keeping this bateleur in the frame. We're hoping that they might lead us to something exciting around the next corner. But I think I can hear a pearl-spotted owlet calling. We're gonna keep going, and while we carry on, we're gonna go and check in with Imara. Apparently she's got some giraffe.
Yes, we do have a bit of giraffes. We caught up with some of them. They seem to be two boys, and they're following each other very closely. And also it's a nice comparison with the coats. Look at that. One has a lighter coat, darker coat. These are both the Maasai giraffes, but even the print, by the way, look at that. The print on the lighter one, it's so small, like very, very light. There's a bit of necking going on, but by the looks of it, I think this is a low intensity necking. Necking is when the males swing each other's necks, well, each of their necks at the other, and it's usually very aggressive if it does get to high intensity. But as I said, low intensity is more of sometimes playful or just, light-hearted. It's nothing serious. But these are definitely two boys Ossicorns are good indicators of gender. And even sometimes when you see like really big old giraffes, oof, huge, and then they also have bumps on their forehead. Look at them. He's like, don't touch me. Look at the coats. Look at their legs. Even the size, huh? Ooh, don't hit the tree. Yeah, it's very low intensity. It's not serious. These are still looking like young boys. Judy, well, it depends on just the males. Are they next to females? Are they boys? You know, because you still have your bachelors who practice necking. But when it comes to mating, giraffes are always ready to mate. It's the female who's supposed to be, of course, in her season. The male will go and test urine out, literally tasting the urine, which is very, very interesting to watch. Oh, look at them. Hey, oh, it's like a dance. They're not even hitting each other. They're just missing each other. Oh, it's so beautiful though. But I always feel it for their necks. But their necks are designed for this, very strong. But yeah, there's no really season for it. If it's practicing, they can practice with other boys. If it's really high intensity, there's a female they want to mate with and show dominance. Oh, yeah, this is low intensity and they look very young. The ossicorns don't seem like they use as much. The older males, their ossicorns, very bald. Oh, you guys can hear our friends? The African fish eagle, voice of Africa. Look at them. I want them to come out in the sun a little bit. Maybe they want shade. They're like, guys, come on, boys. We're gonna fight in the shade because it's too hot, but not really high intensity, low intensity. It's like being in low gear. But they do this. You always see them standing side by side. They move back and forth, back and forth. And I've seen them doing it on sometimes some ground where you can see the foot marks, and it looks like a whole dance. Oh, even the African fish eagles, they have literally two of them on different sides of where we are. I think one is calling from the marsh and the other one is calling from the river. And there's an echo happening in the air. So it's a bit of a nice soundtrack for these boys. Ooh, careful, careful, boys. But this not hitting hard. When they hit hard, you hear like loud, like literally a loud thud. And you're always wondering how would they do that? But their ossicorns are very hard. It's kind of part of their skeleton, like their skull actually. Look how they're standing, that stance. Ooh. It's like a boxing match. It's like shadow boxing. It's like I'm trying to hit you, but you're missing or moving away from my strike. Dark mane lava, yes, tall models of the bush, and they like dancing also, or let's say boxing, so our tall boxing models. Because I like how the other one is actually missing the other's neck swing, is like putting it down and then, oh. Oh, male giraffes, you guys are so entertaining. Even the females, I love the females when they just stare at you. They can stare at you for like 20 minutes, just chewing cud. But the boys here, at least they're a bit of activity, and we're just gonna allow them to continue with their low intensity necking.
Can you hear that sound? The way it grows, the way it calls you to come alive. Can you feel the rhythm? The way it beats with the land? Do you feel alive again? Or maybe you never left. You don't just visit the wild, you return to it.
At Wild Earth, we believe every story has the power to create change. That's why we've launched the Wild Earth Impact Foundation, a non-profit dedicated to conservation and social impact. By showcasing conservation stories, we can change lives, protect nature, and empower communities. We have partnered with Empowers Africa to accept tax-deductible donations from US donors. Your donation will help fund critical programs that support our mission. Join us and be part of the change.
We know that adverts pay our bills, but you don't necessarily like them. So, this is a fantastic way to stop being interrupted. Sign up today and you'll get instant access to wildlife. 24/7, ad-free, live and on demand. No pesky commercials, no rude interruptions, just wild Africa exactly as it unfolds. Wild Earth Explorers, wilder together.
Tino. They do, but not as quite often as most of the animals, but they do actually vocalize. I know yesterday I tried mimicking the rhinos' sound that they make, but it's a little bit difficult with the sable to actually make. But just to give you an idea, it is not quite far from a blue wildebeest. I think I would put it as the closest because of how loud it goes, but they don't actually pull it as long as the wildebeest actually do. But yes, they do vocalize. Ah, there's one of the young ones coming in as well. Good morning. There we go. Look at that. And hello, little one. Oh, isn't that cute? That is just, it's moments that actually melt your heart. Yeah, hopefully with that one moving a little bit to the left, the young one will actually follow. Just so beautiful with the coating, the colors, especially when you have that right sunlight that like we do now. It's just something amazing to actually cleanse your eyes upon. But as we actually hold on onto this side and see what we can actually see, we will send you back to Imara, where we can find out how is the WWE with the giraffes going.
Oh, WWE fight. We should just call it WWG because of the giraffe. And I'd love to see a sable. I've never seen one, and I would love to admire those horns. Very, very unique, just like our long necks of our giraffes. The boys here are still continuing with their low intensity fight because one, they're just enjoying each other. In the sense of males need to also form bonds. It's very good for them to do so. And when boys leave the herd, because it's a very normal thing with animals, when you look at lions and even hippos, they leave their mothers. So giraffes stop weaning around 9 to 12 months of age. By the time they're 15 months, they start, eating. They're not even let's say 12 months actually. They're eating leaves, more independent from mom, and the older they get, by the time they're 4 years, they start slowly detaching themselves from the herd. They start moving away, exploring on their own. It's not really the same way lions will fight off their sons and be like, get out. Giraffes is more of like, mom, I'm gonna go and look for other opportunities, other places, which is normal. And then they can find bachelor herds where they'll come and, form bonds with one another like these boys right now, because this is not a high intensity fight. High intensity, you'll see it with the older, bigger bulls. And even by the looks of them, look at their heads, look at the bumps on their face, because they have some on the forehead area. They're not that big, so even the size, they're not really full, let's say, big adult males, still getting there. And with the low intensity, they're just kind of sizing each other up, again, social bonding, which is great. And it's very interesting how they've evolved this way. But I like how they do it, because when it's very high intensity, usually it can break bones for sure and, cause a lot of injuries. One can even fall, but it doesn't usually lead to death. So at least one of them will just have to lay down and just walk away. So most of the time, at least with some animals, it doesn't lead to death. Lions are the only ones where I'm like, you guys are really extreme. Sometimes it can lead to death, and they want to do so. But the giraffes is like, okay, you win, and I walk away. But look how beautiful they look. Shauna, ooh, thank you. I just talked about it. Great timing. No, not really. With looking at their ossicles, you see how it's very shiny a bit on the top. There's not much of the hair covering that section. It shows you, again, males, and it's part of their skull. So even if they're hitting each other, it's not sharp. It's not something that impales. It doesn't go through the skin. It's very blunt. It's like a hammer, almost, a wide hammer that is not sharp. So for them, it's more of just hitting loud thuds. Again, bones can break, and it can be like a cause of a few different injuries. Maybe if something particular or very rare happens, where maybe another giraffe hit the other giraffe on a section where it's very delicate and maybe did lead to something more serious. But no, it doesn't lead to death. It just leads to one of them standing down, and the other now kind of shows, I'm dominant. I have the right to mate with these females. I'm the bigger bull. So with the males, it's just about one of them having to stand down. Like, they're still standing and they're swinging their hips. It's a dance, honestly. I think it's a dance. Look at the back legs, how they always put one between the other, like they try to get a good position. It's like they're trying to trip one another. So yes, it is a bit of dance fighting, if I'd like to say, if there's such a thing. Actually, what is a dance fighting? Is it capinara? Am I saying that right? The Brazilian dance which is actually fighting. So I think I'm going to name this necking after them, after the dance, which is a fight. Anyway.
It seems like we just lost Imara's feed, unfortunately, but we did come across 2 warthogs. Are you ready, M4? Aha! 2 Pumba. They are having their morning graze, and this is, I think, the second animal we've seen today. Different species. We saw lots of impala, but now we get some warthog as well, so very happy about that. But yeah, a bit of a quiet morning for us. Hopefully things are going to change this afternoon. It sounds like it was a good morning elsewhere. Lots of lions, and we are hopefully going to find some more lions from this afternoon. But yeah, thanks to the team, all the hard work out there. I think yeah, some great shots there with Imara and Dan, and Tepo on fire once again in Mabula. Don't forget about our Explorer subscription. We'll see you this afternoon. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a great day. Goodbye.
Good evening.
Did you hear that?
A bit of vitamin D. Very majestic. Look at this guy.